John Stevens is president of the New Jersey chapter of the Huntington's Disease Society of America, also known as the HDSA. This Saturday, September 27th, the chapter is hosting its annual Team Hope Walk to help raise funds in the fight against Huntington's disease. Good morning to you, John.
Good morning, Ken, and thank you for having me on again. It was on back in May when we had May HD Awareness Month.
Exactly. Remember that? And we were still a baby show back then. So we appreciate that you came with us when we were still a little earlier in our progression and now. Tell everybody what Huntington's disease is because I think it's confusing to a lot of people. We have so many, unfortunately, so many ailments out there that desperately need funds. So tell everyone what Huntington's is.
Sure, I'd love to. So, Huntington's disease, or HD, is a rare genetic neurodegenerative disease. It's genetic because every child that's born to a parent with HD has a 50-50 chance of inheriting the gene that causes HD. And there's actually a gene in all of us called Huntington gene. In almost all of us, it's a very good gene, but unfortunately, in the people who inherit the Huntington gene, it turns out to be a bad gene. And there's a mistake in the DNA. And over time, that mistake releases toxic protein into the brain, which causes the disease. And the symptoms become involuntary movements, personality disorders, anxiety, depression, swallowing issues. And there's approximately 30 to 40,000 people in the United States that have HD, with another 200,000 at risk because of this genetic piece of it. And in New Jersey, there's probably 900 to 1,200 people with HD, with 7,000 at risk. Unfortunately, it's a fatal disease. There is no cure. There's some great research going on. But right now, there's no cure. There's medicine, obviously, for this symptoms like anger and depression, but no cure. And my relationship to HD is that my wife had HD for 15 years, was in a nursing home for the last 5 and passed away 3 years ago. And I have 3 daughters, and my youngest daughter tested positive for HD, which means 100% she will get the disease. And it's been called the devil of all diseases because it's like having Parkinson's, ALS, and Alzheimer's all in one disease.
And what is the expected lifespan, or is it just different from person to person?
Yeah, it's hard because there's no boilerplate because it does vary by person, but the average is around 15 years, which was what when my wife was.
Mm. And so clearly genetic. I mean, if you were to have two people who both had Huntington's, so then you have a 100% chance of passing it on at that point. So the child will definitely get it. Is that the way it works?
Um, it's rare with both people. I don't think there's enough information to say it's 100%. It tends to be, it's probably a true statement, Ken. I just haven't heard that
Right.
specifically.
Because I'm guessing it's such a rare ailment that the chances of having two people who have it and then getting married and having kids or whatever is I'm sure rare.
Right.
A horrible, if you will, death sentence. And knowing that in the back of your head you have a lifespan. And we all have lifespans. It could tomorrow I can get hit by a bus. It could
Right.
happen. But to know, it's almost like, do you need to know? Do you want to know, or do you wish you didn't know? That's the horrible thing about it. The good news is HDSA gets great support. So talk about the support that HDSA is offering families.
Yeah, so HDSA, our mission is to improve the lives of individuals and families that are affected by Huntington's disease, and there's various components to that. HDSA provides family services, whether it's support groups. We have social workers that are on the staff. We do a lot of education and awareness. Like, as I said, May was HD Awareness Month, and we do education days. We were actually at Rutgers University a few weeks ago, and we gave a presentation to first-year medical students. There was 175 in the audience, and three of us, four of us talked about our journey with HD, and they were so engaged. Great questions. And we're going to do Drexel University in February, so we do a lot of that type of thing. We do advocate both at the state and federal level for laws and funding. And funding is a huge issue. We have a Center of Excellence in New Jersey, that's where people with HD can go to and get help with psychiatry and neurology. And the funding was cut to zero this year, so we're going to be back in front of the budget committees this year trying to get that funding back. And we do an awful lot of fundraising to raise monies to do all the things that we do for the HD community here in New Jersey.
I was just talking a little earlier with a doctor from Hackensack Meridian, and we were talking about the fact, brought up the issue, the fewer people who have a disease or an ailment, the harder it is to get funds, right? When it's more people, it's easier to get funds because you have kind of a more of a push, you have more individuals, et cetera. When it's fewer people, it's always much more of a challenge. And it's just an insipid disease, a horrible thing to have. I remember a friend of mine telling me about genetic diseases like that. It's almost like a zipper that's off by one notch, and you zip the whole way up, but the genes don't match up the way they're supposed to match up. And that's sort of kind of, I mean, I'm trying to use a simple analogy for what this is, but as you said, that then impacts your brain, it impacts, et cetera, all the neurological aspects of your body. You would think that with gene splicing and things like that, that there would be some kind of advancement. Have they talked about that, going down that research path?
Absolutely. There's a lot going on. What I find fascinating is that there's like I said before, there's tons of research going on, but it's not sometimes your typical research that they may do for diabetes or those types. And but this is they're more looking at like a CRISPR where they can go back. What they're looking
Mhm.
at is to go in and repair that gene or replace that gene. And some of the studies that are going on today, they'll actually inject you in your lumbar, and the medicine will go right to that gene, and the hope is that it'll turn it off. Which, if you think about all the genes that are in your body, they're working out a mechanism to target that gene and turn it off. And probably in the early stages, they'll turn it. The force it won't be all the way, but it'll slow down the progression. But the hope over time, either will replace the gene or will just turn it off completely. Which is, when you think about it, is fascinating. And the last 5, 10 years has been incredible. And just think where they're going to be 5, 10 years from now.
Absolutely. We can only hope. Let's hope it comes sooner than 5 or 10 years. But yes, because things seem to be moving exponentially. Let's not forget to talk about this weekend's walk. It's the Team Hope Walk. It's in Edison. Talk about where it is and when it starts, so we get people out there.
Sure. So, we've had some great events this year. We had an event at Top Golf in Edison in March, which was record attendance and fundraising. We had an event May 2nd at 5K Run Walk in Bar A, Belmar. Again, attendance and record breaking amount of money we raised. For the first time ever, we had an event at the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, which was fantastic. Beautiful night. The Blue Claws won in the ninth inning, and we had 102 people there. And this Saturday, as you said, Ken, on September 27th at Roosevelt Park in Edison, right next to Menlo Park Mall, we're having our annual Team Hope Walk. Registration's at 9:30. The walk starts at 11. And when I say walk, if you haven't been to Roosevelt Park, there's a lake at Roosevelt. There's a half a mile, and we take one walk around the lake. Very casual. We have teams, and we all have our team signs, and it's create awareness. And the event is really obviously to raise money, but to bring the HD community together, give people a place to go and feel like they belong to a community, to meet people, to connect with people, to bring awareness, and obviously to have fun. We have a special guest that day. Sparky from the Somerset Patriots is coming, and who doesn't love Sparky? And the kids love him. We have an American barbecue. We have a DJ, so there'll be music. We have a 50-50. We have a tricky tray raffles, and we have over 50 baskets that we're going to be giving, raffling off. And we have a silent auction, and we have some really great gifts that you can bid on. It's a fun day. It's a great day. You won't be disappointed. and might work on that weather on Saturday. I don't want to see any raindrops in the forecast whatsoever. And if you're interested in coming, you can go to hdsanj.org, hdsanj.org. Click on that. You'll see on the right hand side events. Click on that, and then you'll see the 2005 Team Hope Walk. You click on that, and it'll take you to registration, or if you would just like to make a donation. Great day for it's a great event for a great cause. You won't be
Team Hope
disappointed.
Walk. Team Hope Walk this Saturday, September 27th at Roosevelt Park in Edison. John Stevens, president of the New Jersey chapter of the Huntington's Disease Society of America, HDSA. Thank you for coming on this morning, John. Good to see you
Thank
again.
you, Ken. And Ken, can
You
I just
bet.
say one more quick thing?
Sure.
On November
Yeah.
2nd at Lee's Chateau in Lakewood, we're going to have what we call the Community Day, Education Day. It's free. And the purpose is to educate people about Huntington's disease. So that's our next event. And if you want, I can come on and talk about it just before that too. But
You
thank you for
you
having me. I really appreciate it. Keep doing the great work, and every year I'll come on, and you'll be more mature every time I come on.
John, you have the invitation right now. So just set it up with Gerald. You're on automatically. All right, my friend. You're
Thank you.
always welcome on, pal. All right.
Thank you
God
so
bless you
much.
and best of luck
Appreciate it.
with the fundraiser. You got it.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.